Hi there. I'm Theo Kirkley. I just finished a 30-minute stream called The Truth About Abortion. This is some further things that I'd like to add. I'm calling this right now The Truth About Abortion 2. Um, it has less to do with abortion itself and more to do with the decision to abort. I want to talk about, it's funny because in the last stream I said, I think there's one more thing that I wanted to say, and I didn't want to drag on too long trying to remember it. So I just ended the stream, but I remembered it very soon after I finished it. And this is what I wanted to say. We have a misunderstanding the world over when it comes to what a family is. Of course, there is a family unit, but what we call the family is, at this point on the earth, kind of like a mini cult. That may be hard for some people, but it is the truth. What do I mean when I say it's like a mini cult? It's a situation where you have two cult leaders, a mother and a father, who attempt to dominate their followers, which are the children. Now, it's not true in every case. There are many loving parents that love their children in the way the children ought to be loved, which is really, be their friend and be their guardian and be their help usher them into the world. Teach them everything you know. And what you don't know, be honest. That's something a lot of parents don't do. They don't say, I don't know. They don't say, I'm sorry, I don't know that. At the very least, you can say, well, I think it's this. But if you really don't know, it may just be better for you to say, that's one I don't know about. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about the Louis C.K. joke where the child asks questions, like question after question after question after question, and Louis C.K. is finally like, I don't know, I don't freaking know. Well, that's good. That's honest. Be honest. You might have done better to be honest earlier. But in most cases on the earth, the family unit is like a mini cult. And it's very important to understand that when you have this belief that your daughter or your son is yours, you are laboring under a falsehood. I'm going to let that reverberate in the air for a moment. When you have a child, when a soul is attracted to a newly created physical and spirit body, and that soul begins to grow, along with its appendages, the physical and spirit body, in the womb of the mother. And you have this belief that is your human being, then you have just created a complex in that human being. You have created this idea in that child that they will, for the rest of eternity, perhaps, always be somewhat subservient to you. And they will always have this authority, which is you. That's a major problem. What the truth is that every human being is the child of God. So God, our heavenly parent, call him Father, call him Mother, is the actual parent of every soul, because who we are primarily, fundamentally, is we are souls. So what you are doing when you uh, conceive a child and bear a child and raise a child is you are using the gift that God has given to you, because having a child is a gift. Like everything that God has done, um, like the gift of life, like the gift of free will. This one I have a big problem with, but it is, I can't deny it. Um, Having a child is a gift. It's an opportunity for you to learn. It's an opportunity for you to, you can see yourself and your children. You can see how you can change. You can feel through emotions that you've been storing since, your own conception, since, your adult life, your teenage life, your childhood, and even your time in the womb. All the emotions that you have stored, that you're holding on to. A lot of those feelings will be triggered in the process of raising a child, and you have the opportunity now to feel through those things and heal yourself. So I feel a lot of resistance. It's very hard for me to deliver this message, but I think it's very, very important. It's something that I felt for a long time. I often fantasize about having a child, and what I would do different to my parents. I do question this desire sometimes, because sometimes I think it's like, I will do it better than my parents did it. And that's like a painful place that I have. Like, ideally, my desire should be like, I will be able to learn so much from having a child. I will be able to help usher a brand new soul into the world. What an incredible experience. What an amazing thing that I can be a part of that child's upbringing. So that's really what we want to shoot for, is that feeling. Here's another way to put it, which might come at you pretty hard. If you are a man and you have a child, you are the brother of that child. That's what I'm saying. If you are a woman and you have a child, you are that child's sister, because we are all children of God. This is a very important and profound truth. And if you're not ready to hear it, I mean, you're hearing it right now. So let's see what happens. Think about it, pray about it, ask God about it. Is this the truth? But this means a lot. And what does this have to do with abortion? If the world was a more hospitable place, if a mother and father knew that although they do not feel ready to raise a child, that there is still someone else out there that would love the opportunity to raise a child, then there would be a lot less abortions. There would be a lot less murder of children. So that's why this is so important. People love children. People love children. And, and it's the collective fear and insanity that we operate under on this earth currently that prevents the world being a more hospitable place. It shouldn't be a problem that a child wanders off on its own, goes over to so-and-so's house. What does it matter? If we lived in a loving world, then there wouldn't be any question. We wouldn't, and this is especially a problem these days, where children need a constant chaperone. It's destructive towards the child. The child has no sense of independence, and to some degree it makes sense because of pedophiles that are out there. And I say that even though I've admitted to pedophilia myself. I have admitted to it, but I am quite firm in my belief that I would never molest a child or have unconsensual sex with a child. I know that a lot of people are turning away, and they might want to find the video where I said I'm a pedophile now, and they might think that everything that I've said up until this point is now illegitimate because I have admitted to pedophilia. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that the truth that I am presenting is illegitimate. I believe it is completely legitimate and needs to be shared and needs to be heard. If you feel like because of what I've said that I should be eternally damned and I should stop talking now, those are your feelings. Take them somewhere else. So that's really all that I have to say in this. There are a lot of people that want to raise children, and we could have a world where you didn't just have, one primary couple that raises a child. You can have, several people. You could have a big house full of people. You could have, really from an early age, we should be allowing children to make their own decisions. If what a parent really is just a brother or sister to that child, the sibling of that child, then we should allow that child to go wherever it wants to go. Once it reaches an age where it is beginning to express itself and wants to be independent and can be independent, it should be allowed to go wherever the heck it pleases. The fact that we have a situation where children are confined and restricted as much as they are is very bad for their own self-independence. So I think the library is closing pretty soon. Someone might knock on the door in a minute, but this is a very important message. And it's something that I find very, I think it's big. I think it's very big. And I think that, it's partly my own, the way that I repressed my own sexuality when I was a child and the way that I was repressed generally or restricted. Those I think are some of the causes of the attraction that I've had towards children, my own unresolved sexual feelings, which occurred around, a youthful age. But it's something that we all need to go through. We need to feel through our pain from childhood. We need to see that we're not helping a child when we constantly fuss over it, when we worry for it, when you worry for a child, you're projecting fear towards that child. And that kind of emotion coming out the child is what attracts harm into that child's life. So that's another thing that a lot of people may find very difficult to hear. Every single fear that you have associated with your child, the fear that it might get hurt in some way, the fear that it might get kidnapped, it might get raped by a pedophile, molested. You need to feel through all of those fears. And if you do that, you are loving your child more than before. Holding on to those fears that you have is not a good thing. And I know that many people think that it is a good thing, that is an expression of love. It is not an expression of love. Those feelings that are inside of you hurt the child. It is your connection to the child and your sense of dominance over that child with the idea, the false belief that that child is yours. That is creating a difficult situation for that child, that human being. So in summary, what I'm saying here is that we are all brothers and sisters under one God, and conceiving and raising a child is a gift. It's not a burden. It's not something that you have to do. And there are many loving people that would like to take care of children, and that is that is a message that people need to hear. And it is, if we were to trust and love each other more, there would be more welcoming people. There would be more people that would like to raise children. So if you are in a situation where you don't feel that you can raise a child, no problem at all. Find someone or some people that do want to raise the child. So I hope you can see the gravity and importance of this video and why I wanted to make a whole nother addendum to my last video instead of just typing in the description. So I'll end it there. Thank you for watching.